Hey guys! Well, this week we're gonna have more of a personal video. I want to share with you guys the story of how I got to know money and how I developed my relationship with money that led me to my financial journey today. It started when I was 3. The main reason why I wanted more money was because I wanted more POTCHI. As a kid, I wanted more money, so I have more money to buy candy, more happy. Yes. I would always remember one piece of POTCHI was 1 peso. But my parents would give me like 25 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents. Because you can't trust a 3-year-old with a lot of money. That's what they would give me, 25 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents. And I asked my mom, how does this become 1 peso? How does this become a POTCHI? So she explained the concept of money to me. That's how I began to understand the concept of currency, which could then be exchanged for goods. At age 6 to 7, I'm not entirely sure, I opened my first savings account. This was because I had a big glass frog that was my piggy bank. It's called Happy Frog. I filled up Happy Frog, my piggy bank, more like Froggy Bank. He was a little bank that I would save all my money from. I would be given 5 pesos a day. That was my allowance at that time. I would always put it in if I didn't want to buy anything. I'd save up my money. Anything that was also given to me through ampao for the holidays or anything else. As long as I was given money, it most likely went into Happy Frog. I just would put it in, let that accumulate over the years from when I was around 4. All the money in there, it amounted to about 2,000 pesos, which is not much, but in kid terms, that was a lot of money. So I was so happy. Happy Frog was full. Happy Frog was busog because I thought that you fed the frog money and the frog became happy. In general, that's how it was. And I was like, oh, it's full. We can go on and put it in a savings account. I didn't fully understand the repercussions of that at that time. Well, not really repercussions, or in fact the implications of having a savings account at that time. To which I honestly was very happy with now that looking back at it. That's when I learned how to save money because I wanted to make this little glass frog happy. I thought that it ate money and that by feeding it money it became happy. And that's just how I learned how to save, by making Happy Frog happy. At the age 8 to 9, that is when I started learning about investing in myself. This is when I started getting into sports and music actually. This is when I wanted to start doing the drums. This is when I wanted to start doing gymnastics. But unfortunately, we as a family that was in the lower middle class, we didn't have that disposable income for me to be able to spend on just forming a new hobby. I already had a bike that I could ride around the neighborhood with. I already had other things that I could do. So my parents were like, no, we're not gonna do that. And then I found another sport that I was really interested in at the time, which was Taekwondo, which I really wanted to pursue. What I did was that I used my own money from it. From the ages of 4 to 9, everything I've saved, all of my life savings, I poured it into buying the gear for Taekwondo, buying the belt, the uniform, everything. I spent that for myself because I wanted to make myself happy. And I also wanted to learn how to kick ass because martial arts, it's self-defense, especially for a girl. Let's be honest, the younger you are, the more you are in a dangerous situation when it comes to dealing with people who don't have good intentions towards you. As a girl, I felt like it was also a big advantage for me because I would learn how to defend myself while enriching myself in a hobby that I wanted, and how growing my money was not only just putting money in a bank account, putting money in a piggy bank. It was also growing it through my own experience, growing it through myself, and being able to have that relationship with money that I don't just have to hoard money, I don't just have to hold it, but I can also let it go when I find something that I think is worthwhile. At the age of 10, I began a side hustle. My former teacher has recruited me to be able to host my former school's events. It was a very small side hustle. I would earn here and then. Whenever there were events for the school, they would invite me. I would be the host, and they could also phone me as an alumnus because I got into a good school in high school and I was pretty decent at talking. That money was bigger than any other money that I would see. Unless it was like in the ampao, because I was like, earning like 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos per session, depending on what they would pay me, because I didn't really demand any payment back then because I was really young. I didn't really understand the implications of what was happening and whether I should or shouldn't get paid. I just did it because I thought it was fun and I thought that it would be very cool for me as an alumnus to join into the new generation. Since then, I started earning money. I began developing financial goals, like what I want to do with my money. Other than investing in myself, other than saving it up, I wanted to have a goal that I strove for. And that goal is having 100,000 pesos before I turned 18. That was my first financial goal that I put up as a 10-year-old. So essentially, I had about 8 years to make 90% of that money according to my financial goals. But that's not something I really held myself to fully. It's something that I just strove for. It's not something that I would beat myself up over if I wanted to spend on Starbucks. That's not something I really beat myself up for if I wasn't able to save as much as I could that month. I did monitor myself, but I didn't really hold myself to it. In the end, 10 years old, aiming to have 100,000 pesos by 18, that's a lot of money. And that's not something that's very easy to come by. My next stage of life was all about figuring it out. At the age 15 to 16, this was the business era. You can see there's a big gap. 10 to 13 was the one that I was earning a little bit with the side hustle. Then 15 to 16 is when I started my business era. During the ages of 13 up to 15, this was me still trying to figure out my marketable skills. Is there anything I do that is worth it to be able to get a lot of money? Is there anything that I do that's worth paying for? That's when it clicked. I love cooking, and then that's something I wanted to monetize, but I didn't understand how. So instead, I just began learning about food, enriching myself, deepening my understanding of food and how food was made. It started, my actual business started with me bringing a polvoron that I made. I brought it during an exam because exams are stressful. I wanted to make sweets. I could eat it after the exam, so I brought this really special polvoron that I made, and then I had it on my desk while I was taking the test. And my advisor asked if she could have some because she got one, and then she told me, "Nak, pwede mong i-business to." And that just clicked in my head like, oh my god, I can sell this. I can make money from this. I can actually be able to reach maybe my financial goals because I sell a lot of this. And it just spiraled down that route until I actually began selling, actually began understanding how the production worked, how much time I would have to spend making the product, how much it would cost for the packaging, how much it would cost for me to put in the labor and everything else. And that's when I slowly learned and had to understand that, oh my god, entrepreneurship is hard. It is not easy. It's so hard. It is wow. From this stage of my life, I earned a decent amount of money. However, something happened that I didn't expect. Something that no one expected. COVID happened. School stopped, face-to-face stopped, everything moved online. And I was again, sitting here at home, quarantined, trying to wrap my head around how I wouldn't have that extra source of income, trying to wrap my head around what can I do to make myself better, what can I do to maybe earn some money. This was when my financial awakening happened. At 17, being stuck inside in COVID, I thought that the next best option was to do an online food business. However, this didn't really work out. A lot of customers didn't really like it because it was overpriced and stuff because of how hard it was to get goods and what the goods that were available at that time. Because the goods that were available at that time weren't as cheap anymore as what I would get when I was 15 or 16. Things were more expensive and it's a lot harder for me to get these ingredients, and these ingredients that I would use were often more expensive, which to my detriment as a seller made things not work out. But from there, I picked myself up and started going again. I started learning about how money works, how entrepreneurship works, and how else can I use this hard-earned money of mine in order to grow it to reach my financial goals. I learned about funds, stock market, investing, all of that things. I started learning when I was 17, but I didn't fully get into the fray until I was 18, which is at this point 2 years ago. Well, nearly 2 years ago, but it's very early in 2020. I've fully been into the stock market for a year now. I've received my first batches of dividends. I've received my returns from my high yield savings accounts. I've been seeing my spending and being able to see my sheets in spending and understanding how monitoring your money could both be a positive and a negative. I'm still learning on how to put things together. I'm still trying things out. I might go into crypto. I may go into more investments like seed in. I don't know yet. I still haven't fully decided what my next step is, but I am still learning, and I really, really want to share this journey with you guys and with myself in the future. This channel basically started out as me wanting to build up a little portfolio for me to review in the future, to see like, oh, little Inea, how wrong you were in these things, how wrong you were when it comes to understanding these things. But at least then I know that I've grown from who I am now to who I am at that point in time, of me reviewing this video and me finding out that this is what I wanted at this period of time. And I'm really glad for whoever you are that you're coming on for this ride, because I think that it's really fun and it's a really important conversation to have for us to be really open with our money journey, because everyone that I'm seeing is about financial journey, financial awakening. Your finance journey starts with your money journey. You need to know money first before you can understand finance. And that's just my opinion. I'm not sure if that's actually a thing, but that's what I believe. I believe that from childhood we should develop a good relationship with money, so that as an adult, you don't have a hard time adjusting and you don't have a hard time wrapping your head around these concepts. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for listening to this more personal video. If you liked it, give the video a like. Comment down below if you want to start a conversation about anything. Share this to anyone that you think would find this helpful or would find this entertaining. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye, see you next time!